How are you today, by the way?
I'm okay.
Just okay?
Just okay.
Oh man.
What does that mean in Max World?
It means...
The energy levels.
I don't like the question, how are you?
Okay.
I usually dodge it.
It's too late. You didn't dodge it. You already told me you were okay.
That is a dodge. Because it doesn't mean anything.
Okay. I actually emailed you to ask you onto my show, but I'm on your show at the same time. So how do you want to do this?
Oh, however you want. If you want me to be on your show, that's fine.
I think we're both on each other's show.
Okay.
If you want to call this a show. I don't know what it is.
It's a show.
We didn't even do introductions. It's hardly a show.
Well, I think both audiences know who the other person is at this point, right?
Hopefully. If not, this is Mr. Girl. This is Max.
This is
I'm a
Simon.
Brittany. Okay.
Yeah, so, well, I messaged you yesterday, and I was like, hey, you were like talking a lot of shit about me a few months ago, saying that I'm boring or that I'm not introspective or that I think my...
Oh my god, she said he's a level 1!
All these things you were saying about me, I think mostly in January, maybe a little trickle into February.
Oh no.
And I figured like most people don't like me the first time they watch my content or any conversation I'm in. So I figured that might have changed. So I wanted to ask you beforehand, so I don't come in guns blazing, if that has changed. And you said yes, but it seemed like we were going to wait until we're talking to...
Discuss it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to get a sense of where we're starting out.
What is the difference between authoritarianism and fascism then? Are they synonyms? It's a subset of the other. Fascism, I would say, by definition, needs to be authoritarian, right? Like it has to be like, or could you have two authoritarian parties? If you had two authoritarian parties running against the democratic system, because totalitarian is what implies single party rule, right? Could you have two authoritarian parties democratically running against each other? Maybe, I don't know. I would say that by definition, like authoritarianism usually like requires like one strong party that is like we are the party, like in China, right? Or in Russia. Like I would say China and Russia have a lot of like fascist aspects to them. Like ultranationalist, like ready to do anything for our country, usually has like ethnic ties to it, or is baked into it. And then like authoritarian government, where the government can do whatever the fuck it wants to do. If it wants to steal shit from businesses, so in China that might mean owning all the businesses of the government. In Russia that might mean having like oligarchical control or projection of power or influence over your sectors of your economy. Like these are like I would say fascist things. I think authoritarianism requires you being the only power in a country. Okay. I mix up totalitarian and authoritarian sometimes. Totalitarian means you have total control over everything, right? And authoritarian means only one party. Yeah, so okay. I'm pretty sure fascism generally requires totalitarianism and authoritarianism, like both of those things, and then some like aspect of like hyper ultra nationalism or whatever. No, hold on. I want to be clear about this. Hold on, because people don't know this. Okay. Fascism is hyper-nationalism with an us versus them element where the people in the us are made to feel special and called to serve the nation. That's populism, more or less. You're closer to a populist there, somebody like Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump, well, than you are to just a fascist. Like, I think fascist implies, like, not only the us versus them thing, but it implies, like, a form of, like, authoritarianism, a form of totalitarianism, and a form of, like, ultranationalism. Populism has, like, that baked in that huge, like, us versus them, us versus the elites, us versus, the system, blah, blah, blah. But, okay, sorry, I don't want to argue this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have a question. Why would you have come in guns blazing, even if I did think those things very strongly the same?
Because they're not true, and it pisses me off when people think those things.
Okay, so you don't think your belief systems are objective? You think they're subjective?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you don't think like, okay, so when you push your ideas forward, you're pushing them with the understanding that they're subjective.
I get the bone?
Yeah, I try to couch my beliefs in like, this is what I like. This is what works. No, it doesn't even work for me. It's just what I do. Like, this is how I think of myself, and the way I think is like my preference above, whatever else. If I'm disagreeing with something, it's more like a lens. I think I try to present my views as a lens you could look through. If it's helpful to you to look through it, fine. I'm not trying to get you to glue it to your face, though. Which I think that when you do that, then it gets into more objective.
Did you watch my videos on the levels?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that I'm a black and white thinker that thinks she has the objective truth for people?
I mean, yeah, to some degree. I know that you have some... I mean, you ended the video with, like, I'm just an idiot. So I know that you
have some self-awareness.
Don't, like, fully feel that way.
Okay.
But you are presenting a pretty rigid value system of like good versus bad. You also said they're not judgment, but they kind of are.
Yeah, hold on one second. I just want to listen to this real quick.
Do you not believe? You don't believe in democracy?
Well, I don't believe in democracy.
Well, yeah, you do. It means that you.
Sounds like it seems like a god-awful way of choosing leaders to me. Some kind of popular taste. I mean, do you want to take people in the ways of the American public, Marvel movies and gummy bears, or whatever? Like, yeah, I'm not sure I want these people making decisions. Now, as it is, I don't think there's any country that's truly democratic.
Yeah.
We're not taking referendum every day.
I understand. But you're saying you don't believe in it in the sense that you don't think that's happening.
I don't believe it exists, and I don't believe it's an ideal. Yeah,
I know. I was asking about the second part.
Yeah, it's definitely not an ideal.
I think to be fair, I think most people, I think there's a large number of people, I'll say, who don't think it really exists in practice, but who want to strive for it as an ideal. So I'd say that's probably why I agree that realistically, it flawed and never works quite the way it's supposed to work. Often doesn't but I like.
The arguments democracy are more difficult to pretty fast.
Does he give like an alternative to democracy, or does he? I'm just curious.
They're not bad, they're okay.
Okay. I was just something here. I made an interesting point. Imagine if you were a German who was born in, say, 1905, and you lived a very long life, and you were born in imperial Germany, and also you experienced a cataclysmic world war. You then lived in a democratic republic that was kind of one loser of that war. You then experienced a fascist dictatorship for a dozen years. You then experienced 2 decades. You reached the age of communist dictatorship. Maybe you kind of want to do fascism. Is that nice? There you go. And then, as you were reaching out, you're an octogenarian. You actually started to live in a new kind of American democratic new you experienced the 5 democratic routines.
Okay, I don't get this anymore. Okay, maybe he's not liberal. Maybe he's just not far right enough. I guess I'm for the right groups.
Gay judgment. We gay judged here.
Yeah. So I think
So
you're.
my assessment of you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I do think your value system is a bit rigid. You do like a take it or leave it thing,
Uh-oh.
but it does come across like you just think you're right. And obviously you've constructed a level system. Level 1.
Don't they? This is such an interesting critique.
You have the
It's
exact
going to be
right
interesting to hear
place.
them. Who? It's going to be interesting to hear them critique each other, because I feel like the same accusations they make of each other is going to be levied onto them, right? So Max says that I don't believe that my like I'm not trying to tell people how to live. This is just like a way that I view the world, which I think is essentially what Brittany says. I'm pretty sure she would say, like, I'm not telling you have to see it my way. Like, I'm a dummy, lol. But, like,
Max's
this is what
interview
I
with Dr.
this is-
Nekon was pretty good if you haven't
Thanks,
seen
I'll
it.
watch it immediately, right now. Thank you. And I'm pretty sure Brittany would say the same. But then they're both probably going to disagree on, like, well, when you talk about it, it sounds like you're making like way more like strict objective like judgments or whatever on things, which I'm pretty sure people would say to probably to Brittany and to Max, because I think you guys usually say that of Brittany, and I think somebody said that of Max as well. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with yourself as a 5. So there's that. And I think that for anybody who's not familiar, your level system is basically levels of introspection. So 1 are useless people who are a burden and drain on society and the world around them, and in your words, so useless they can't even kill themselves.
Jesus.
No. Poetic, right? It's one of the cleverest things I've ever said.
Yeah, that I find that pretty disturbing. So I'll probably not argue with you
Sure.
about that. 2, it sounds like are like normal people who are kind of stupid, but they're happy. And we need 2s to like be like garbage people or whatever.
But twos can be very smart too, obviously.
Yeah, they're smart, but
Like,
they're choosing